love these people so much. You can mourn for them.
Stay down! If I wanted it, you'd be dead already.
Is Zack Snyder nice? No, he's a jackass.
There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow! There is no tomorrow!
Welcome back, everyone. Yes, today we are finally doing something DC related, because 9 years ago today, Zack Snyder gave us Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, let's just get out of the way. I am not a DC fan. I am a Marvel fan. I like some Batman movies. I own like 5 or 6 Batman comics. I sadly have never watched the Batman the Animated Series with Kevin Conroy. However, I did watch the Superman animated series, which I really liked. And by the way, I have not watched Batman vs. Superman since it came out almost 10 years ago. So it's quite an experience. Anyways, this review will be completely unbiased. And yes, this video will be like my Endgame and Rise of the Beast reviews. So I am going to talk about the plot for 5 minutes, so let's begin. So the beginning of the movie shows Bruce Wayne's origin story, with his parents Negan and Maggie getting killed in the alley. Very iconic in my opinion. Anyways, their deaths are overplayed with Bruce running in the forest. Bruce falls through some wood into a bat cave, and just like Spider-Man, Bruce gets bitten by some bats, and becomes Batman. Anyways, after the flashbacks, we get another flashback, but this time, it's really cool. We get to see what it's like from a person's point of view, on the ground level, watching gods fight each other. This scene is by far my favorite scene in the movie, but we see Bruce driving through the city, watching all the destruction around him. Eventually, I guess Bruce makes it to one of his buildings that gets destroyed. In the smoke, he sees a girl who's about to be crushed by some falling debris. Luckily, Bruce saves her. He asks where her parents are, and she points up. And personally, chills. And second, I think this is the exact moment where Bruce sees Superman as a threat. After 18 months since the attack on Metropolis, we see some guy going underwater to retrieve a rock. But it's not just any rock.
It's a pet rock.
Actually, it's kryptonite, and it's kind of what the plot revolves around. I'll get into it later. Moving on to Lois Lane in some Middle Eastern town, she's there trying to get a story. Hey, isn't that guy from the Winter Soldier? Anyways, I've been watching so much Daredevil, because where's Karen when we need her? Oh, damn. Sucks for that guy. Shouldn't have had a tracker and you wouldn't be dead. Anyways, the terrorist guy...
You have to stop calling them terrorists.
...is about to kill Lois Lane, but Superman shows up. Oh. He just kills that guy, I guess. Well, that dude from the Winter Soldier kills the other guys, because he's working for Lex, and, I don't know, he's just working for Lex. Now, I would show the Senate scenes, but I'll save the most important scenes for later. So, oh, yeah, we get a Lois Lane in bathtub scene. This scene doesn't do much, so why is it in the movie and the review? Hey, shut up! So moving on to the worst character in the movie, yes, the infamous Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
The red capes are coming. The red capes are coming. Blah, blah, blah. True! No. No, what am I? Boys!
I don't know what they were thinking when they made this character, but anyways, Lex is talking with the Senator Lady about Superman and the kryptonite, and the whole scene can best be summarized by this line here.
And why would we want to weaponize this material?
As a deterrent? A silver bullet to keep in reserve to use against the Kryptonians, so the day does not come, madame, when your children are waving daisies at a reviewing stand.
Last I looked, the only one of those flying around up here was Superman.
Yes, Superman. Yeah, but there are more of them.
The metahuman thesis.
Yes, the metahuman thesis. More likely than not, these exceptional beings live among us. The basis of our myths, gods among men upon our little blue planet here.
After that scene, we get this guy, who I think is the guy who got his legs crushed earlier in the movie, vandalizing the Superman statue. He goes to jail, but he will be released later by Lex. But at the moment, Lex has just gotten unrestricted access to the crashed Kryptonian ship and General Zod's body. And he also, does this.
It's Cherry.
Now, he would move on to Bruce, but most of his scenes is just him exploring files, infiltrating places, and having dreams about movies that won't happen. Justice League 2. Justice League 3. So, I guess we'll catch up with Lex and his warning to the Senator.
Do you know the oldest lie in America, Senator?
And yeah, he thought that line was so good that he'll repeat it later. That night, I guess, Lex has a party. Bruce and Clark are both invited, and of course, there's some beef between the two of them. And their back and forth is actually pretty... Oh, never mind, Lex is here. Anyways, Bruce is there for some Lex files, I guess. So moving on, Lex frees Professor X over here, and he does have a plan for this guy. But before we get to that, Batman figures out where Lex is distributing, and attacks him. First by shooting a tracker, and then... just killing these guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a cool scene, but Batman doesn't kill. Before, we saw Bruce meet Clark. Now, we see Batman meet Superman. It pretty much ends with Superman saying, "Back off, this is my territory." Anyways, the next day, Superman stands trial. And do you remember this from earlier?
Do you know the oldest lie in America, Senator? Can I call you June?
You can call me whatever you like. Take a bucket of piss and call it Granny's peach tea.
You are gonna be on the hot seat in there, Junebug.
I grew up on a farm. I know how to wrestle a pig.
Do you know the oldest lie in America, Senator? It's that power can be innocent.
Because today is a day for truth. Because only by speaking a free and a...
Now, people did think it was him at first, but it didn't really go anywhere because they found the other guy who did it, Wheels, so I don't know. Basically, it gets resolved. After that, Batman steals some kryptonite from Lex to make bombs and a spear. So Lex takes matters into his own hands and basically creates a monster. A Doomsday. So, while Lex is creating his monster, Batman is finally giving us what we want. A Batman vs. Superman showdown. He's getting ready, getting that classic Batman prep time. So after Lex is done, he kidnaps Lois to get to Superman. But it's a diversion, because Lex's real target is Martha, Superman's mother. So Lex makes a deal with Superman. Kill Batman or he kills his mom. So almost an hour and 40 minutes is when we get what we were promised. Batman versus Superman. It's definitely a good fight, with Superman not wanting to hurt Batman, but uses help, while Batman is on demon mode trying his absolute best to kill him. It's somewhat of a long fight. I do like the part where Superman is done playing games and just starts fighting Batman. If you can take anything away from this movie, it's definitely the fight scenes. Well, after Superman is near death, that's when Lois comes out, and that's obviously when we get the memes and parodies of the scene.
Stop! Why did you say that name?
It's his mother's name! It's his mother's name.
Yes, this scene has been memed to hell and back, and it's kind of funny. But after that, Batman agrees to help Superman, because his mom is named Martha too. So this is where they split up. Batman goes to save Martha, while Superman finds Lex. So Batman jumps through a window and takes all these guys out, and definitely doesn't kill anyone. By the way, it's another really good scene. Eventually, Batman finds and saves Martha, while Lois throws Batman's spear in the water. Foreshadowing. Anyways, Superman pulls up on Lex, and that's when Lex releases his monster, Doomsday, which, I'm not gonna lie, they're always doing my man Doomsday wrong. He just never looks like he does in the comics. Anyways, their fight is taking to space, and the military tries to kill them both, giving me some Godzilla King of the Monster vibes. Anyway, Doomsday comes down, while Superman does not. Batman tries to stop Doomsday, but realizes that's not gonna work. So, he decides to go back to Gotham, where the spear is, and endanger what people are left there. Oh, and Superman comes back, because they're not gonna kill Superman. Well, Doomsday shoots down Batman, and it looks like he's about to die when Wonder Woman shows up. Because, it plays her theme every time she's on screen. And also, she's been in the movie, but I have neglected to talk about her until now. That's when Superman shows up, and Lois realizes she made a mistake. 2, actually. 1, she trips, which actually might be real, and the other is throwing the kryptonite spear in the water. So she goes to try to get it, but that's when she gets trapped when the trio is fighting Doomsday. So, Superman has to focus his attention from fighting Doomsday to saving Lois. So he does save her, and realizes there's no way to stop Doomsday. So, Superman makes the ultimate sacrifice and kills Doomsday with the spear, which in turn kills him. It also doesn't help that Doomsday stabbed him. And that's how the final act ends, with Superman's death. Very iconic from the comics, but it's the comics, so you know that it doesn't last. But anyways, the movie has like 7 endings. I guess they're trying to be at Lord of the Rings. But the movie ends with the funeral of Superman and Clark, and Bruce setting up the events for Justice League. So is this the worst DC movie?
God damn, there's a lot of stupid bastards walking around.
No, but it does have some problems. I'll get through what I liked about it first, and then we'll get through the things that people really didn't like about it. So, starting off with the cast, it's fantastic.
Say that again?
First off, Ben Affleck as Batman. While not being loved when first casted, I think over the years, Ben Affleck has probably become one of my favorite Batman. Anytime I think of Batman, I think of Ben Affleck. I do feel bad that people didn't like Affleck's portrayal because he's probably the best thing in this movie. Affleck also has some of the best scenes in the movie, which is probably from the beginning. It really illustrates what it's like for a person on a street level watching your home get destroyed. And moving on to everyone's favorite all-around nice guy, Henry Cavill as Superman. Henry Cavill is probably top 5, maybe even top 3 actors for me. Henry Cavill is what a lot of Hollywood actors aren't, a fan. Cavill respects the fans and the source material, and he's a nerd just like all of us. Now, I still think Christopher Reeves was the best Superman, but Henry Cavill has got to be there right next to him. It helps that he's also just so passionate about the role. Amy Adams is a really good Lois Lane. However, this same cannot be said for Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, a really good actor, but who is horribly casted as Lex Luthor. He's just kind of cringe. I don't get a genius when I see him. And I don't think anybody did either. Now, Zack Snyder is a guy I really like. I like some of his movies, but others can be kind of terrible. However, I think Zack Snyder is a really cool guy. He seems passionate about his work. Honestly, he's the kind of director I would like to be. So, I do like Zack Snyder as a person. I know a lot of people don't like the guy, whether it's all the movies that keep flopping, or how Zack pissed on the people's childhoods with making Batman and Superman killers. Now, my opinion is first, I don't really watch any Snyder movies, so I have no real stance there. And as for people not liking what he did with these characters, again, I'm not a DC fan, so I don't really care. However, I do wish Zack got to direct his Justice League trilogy. The movie is super ambitious, and therefore it kind of suffers for it. Batman vs. Superman fails at Marvel. Think of it like this. Superman was their Iron Man, so you don't go from Iron Man to Civil War. Anyways, it's not a bad movie, however, it's not really great either, but I do think you should rewatch it if you haven't seen it in a while, like me. Well, in closing, those were just some of my thoughts. How about you tell me yours, like or you're trans, but till next time, peace.
Just do it! Make your dreams come true!